my dear friends, today we have wonderful guest, Sergey from Crazy Russian Sergey. I'm happy to see you, Sergey.
Yes, I am intelligent gopnik. If you thought they didn't exist, they exist, you see.
Yes, and um, uh, today we will talk about any topic. You will be able to ask questions to Sergey, to me, and I will be happy, of course, to ask my personal questions towards to you, Sergey, because I
Mhm.
have a lot of them. And of course, you can support before we will start our live stream. You can support us, leave like and subscribe to me to channel of Sergey, and below you can find the link from his channel, and also you can support him by donations. But at first it will be
Oh,
wonderful if you will say how good our connection is, because it is important for us to know sound, how good sound we have. Yes. Yeah.
no,
Do you
I
see?
have great connection,
Yeah.
but yeah, people.
Yeah. I have great connection, to be honest, too. And uh, for me, it's interesting. Of course, you can start. You can say something, yeah, too, because
Me?
yeah. You can say, because I didn't introduce. I
Well,
introduced myself. Yes, yeah.
yeah, no, I'm Sergey. Yeah, I need to introduce myself. I come from St. Petersburg, Russia. Like, I was born in Gopnik neighborhood called Kupchina, but then I moved to some better neighborhood. Yeah. So, yeah, now I'm in Turkey. Yeah. So first I left like Russia to Mongolia, then to 1 month in Mongolia, 1 month in Vietnam, and then like 3 weeks in Korea, and then I came back to Russia for like few weeks, and then I went to Turkey again. So I don't know how long it will last, but yeah, for now I'm in Turkey for
I at this
obvious reasons.
moment, at this moment, when I look at your glasses, it is hilarious. I mean, Gopnik with with glasses, it's like you're very smart
Breaking,
Gopnik.
breaking the stereotypes, you know. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, you're breaking them pretty well. And yes,
Yeah,
for me, it's interesting to know, of course, you left Russia. Yeah.
yeah.
And you was in Turkey. You already not once, if I'm correct. You was in South Korea. But how long do you think you will be there? You don't know at this moment, or maybe you will be there
Yeah,
certain.
I don't know, but maybe I'll even come back to Russia. I'm not planning to right now, but I just don't want to cut all the connections with Russia, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah, that's why, like, for example, I kind of watch my mouth, what I say and stuff. Yeah, because I'm not ready, like, to live forever and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, for now I have like 3 weeks left in Turkey by
Mhm.
the rules. Like we can stay just 2 months in Turkey as Russians. Yeah, and then I didn't decide yet where to go and so on. Yeah, so no plans really. Like kind of. Yeah, it's difficult to be honest. Like yeah.
I can imagine at this moment, especially if you have connections with Russia, it is very difficult to just to broke all bridges. How to say to it's
Uh,
it's kind of impossible, but also do because in my situation I moved to the USA directly. I
yeah.
decided I wanted to move from from Russia many years ago. And
Uh,
of course, for me, it was obvious what Russia doesn't have future, in my opinion,
uh,
because I
uh,
was feeling this many years ago when I started to study English, and people were asking me on Instagram about your age. How old are you? And how long do you study English?
me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old. Sometimes I look younger without beard, for example, and stuff. But in Asia, for example, people give me more age, like. But usually, like in the West, people give me maybe 2 years less. So yeah, but English, no, in school it's like it was. No, we all study English in school in Russia. Like I started it to learn it from the fifth grade in school, but it wasn't very serious studying. I think the biggest reason why Russians don't speak English, even though they learn it in school, is because we don't really need it. Like uh, no,
Hmm.
when you live in Russia, like as a kid, you don't really need English. Like for example, if you live in Netherlands or like in Germany, I don't know, you live like no, they travel a lot between these countries, and they
Yeah.
communicate with each other. But if you live like in Russia, in Siberia somewhere, or like you, as far as I remember, you're from the far east of Russia, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's maybe like even Chinese is more useful there than English. So yeah, but then I finished school, I went to university, and only when I understood that I want to learn English, I need English. Only then I went to courses like
Hmm.
English courses for money. I paid money. There
Hmm.
was American teacher and Russian teacher. So
Wow.
one day it was a Russian teacher. So
Hmm.
we learned like rules, grammar, and then we kind of practice it with English teacher, with American teacher. But then what you didn't understand with American teacher, the Russian teacher would explain you. But after that, it was only American teacher. Yeah, but also then I went to America, by the way. Yeah, so I spent in America maybe. No, if we include detention center where you've been, how long
Yeah.
have you been?
I
How
was
long have you
there
been?
2 months. Little less, but 2 months. I was there.
Wow.
Yes.
And after that, how long already?
Yes,
Like,
I arrived to the USA in October. And two
uh,
months I was in detention center. And yes, right now I'm here. Soon it will be like 2 months, like I'm outside of detention center.
so
Yeah,
in general, like, yeah, 4 months, but
yeah,
2 months. So
yeah.
yeah, I spent 3 months in America, but in northeastern part, like New York, Chicago,
Mhm.
Boston, Washington D.C. So it's a bit different to Texas, where you are right now. So yeah, and there I learned English for 2 months in English school, and even though I was a lazy student, like I didn't do homework, and stuff, but because you every day you speak English, it
Mhm.
was very very fast and big progress. Like after 3 months, 2 months of studying, 1 month like traveling, it improved like 2 times my English. So yeah, and then I just filmed videos with foreigners on my Russian channel. Like if you remember, there was like popular topics like foreigners listen to Russian music. I don't know what.
Yeah, yeah. I
So yeah,
remember this well. Yeah, and um, you said what, but the quality, of course, education in Russia, of course, at least I'm talking about far east of Russia. It was
mm,
really terrible. Especially people was I was feeling what I don't need English at all when I was student, when I was just
mm,
studying at school, and. You don't know where you will use. You said correctly because I was close to China. I was living for
mm.
my life, and a lot of people was thinking what it's more practical to study Chinese in my
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
But you was living in Chita, am I correct? Chita?
No, I'm from St. Petersburg, but in Chita,
Ah,
I just left Russia from Chita because when
ah,
mobilization happened, I was there at the moment, you know. So
yeah.
yeah, but I don't think in Chita is the best education. So I don't know, but yeah, I can say
Yes.
about St. Petersburg only, you know. So yeah, like no, I studied in school. It was like I think in Russia, in St. Petersburg at least, it depends of the school. You know, there are like very
Hmm.
good schools, and there are like just simple schools. You know, and I always studied like in simple schools. They're all government schools, but somehow like ones are better than others. You know, like
Yeah.
so. So yeah, and no kids has have different level. In one class it can be like smart kids and not so
Hmm.
smart. I was like average, you know, like so yeah. But then in university, in one university education was like so,
Hmm.
but then I moved to another one and it was very good. But the thing is that I, for example, in English, I had to know English very well for my speciality in university,
Yeah.
but I didn't know it at all. That's why I went to America to learn it.
But it
So
is
it really depends, you know. This like
it is very expensive to go to the America, to the USA for you paid for this. For me, it sounds like, oh my God, you're from rich family if you paid for this. At least your parents can afford this. And
no,
yeah,
yeah, but it was before. No, first of all, it was before the ruble collapsed. It was in
yeah,
2013.
hmm,
So it was of course expensive, but like not crazy expensive because dollar was like 29 rubles, 29 30 rubles, that
hmm,
time in 2013. So it was
yeah,
expensive, but
it was affordable at least.
no,
Yeah,
like for most of Russians, maybe not, but
like me, for me it was like
I'm
not
from the
affordable. I
party
know
elite.
this.
I'm from the
Yeah.
party elite, so
Yeah, you're smart elite gopnik.
well, you need, you just how to say, like take few phones from nerds on the streets, like отжал телефоны,
Yeah,
парочку.
yeah, yeah.
I
Just
take
against.
from the nerds on the street. Hey, you give me your phone, sell it, and go to America. Stuff
No
like
problem. It's no problem. Yes,
that.
I usually was avoiding gopniks in Russia, but you was gopnik.
Mm,
And here we are. And yes,
yeah.
it's very interesting because I want to say to you what once I was beaten by gopniks. It was
Oh
in
wow.
my life, and it was pretty unpleasant unpleasant meeting when
Mm.
and they took from me piano.
Piano.
Piano. I had this piano like this, yeah, piano.
Ah, maybe it's like synthesizer. You mean?
Synthesizer, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they took this. They wanted to play the synthesizer pretty well.
Well, I have synthesizer like this
It
electronic
wasn't
piano.
you.
Ah, but no. But I was 8 years old when I got it. So maybe my parents took it
Yes,
from
maybe.
me.
I think it's maybe who knows there was some connection. And yes, I want to say special thank you to our moderators because moderators helping to us a lot. I see there, Lisa. Thank you a lot to moderators. You're wonderful. I'm happy to see all of you. And also, I have questions from our community. And these questions, both of us, have you any plans or ideas to pursue another career and getting a job? Yes,
Mm.
uh, or maybe you will want to, how would say, to work as YouTuber. What about your job in future? Do you think what you will have job and what kind of job it will be?
Like maybe acting in the Hollywood. If I'm not kidding, but who knows
Wow. Yeah.
if I'll get very famous. But other than that, like I don't know for now, only YouTube I think, because I dreamed to become football player, it didn't work, but then like I did some stupid like part-time jobs, and yeah, for now it's YouTube. Like a year, maybe almost 2 years ago, when I already did YouTube, I wanted to come back to job because I didn't have like money left to find some job. But then I found out this capitalist system of bank loans, debts,
Hmm.
credits you take from banks.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow, I opened my first credit card and then I took some loans, and like that stops me from going to work. Yeah.
I can imagine, and I want to say to you what in our channel, in my channel, I mean, um, a lot of people, majority of people, like 80% by statistics, they're watching from the USA, and maybe there will be people who will be producer, and they will give you
Mm,
job. Who knows? Because I believe there was some subscribers who was producers, and maybe they will help you to find this future job
yeah,
to be actor in Hollywood. And I'm serious about this because
yeah.
I was receiving these emails from producers, and maybe I hope what you will
Hope,
find.
hope, hopefully they are not from the OnlyFans or something.
Yes, I think it will be not only from OnlyFans. I'm sure about it. And yes, it is wonderful. And um, you already said this, but people asking how long you will be in Turkey.
No, I 3 weeks left, so
Yeah.
like in general it will be 2 months. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I will leave sooner, but for now, like I have 3 weeks left. So
At
yeah,
this moment, is it expensive to live there?
like hotels are not that cheap, but
Yeah,
like food quite cheap. Like I eat in restaurant every day. So
every
like
day.
yeah, no, like yeah, restaurant prices here is like maybe a bit more expensive than Russian canteens,
Mhm.
just like simple canteens. So, and portions are very big here. Yeah, so in this case, it's cheap, but hotels are quite expensive, though, like, so it's pros and cons.
Mhm.
So, still
Yeah.
for me, it's quite expensive, like, you know.
Yes. Thank you,
But
Sam.
still, it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's cheaper than America. I remember in America, I
Mhm.
lived in the hostel, cheapest hostel in New York for $25. Like
And
it
it
was the
was
cheap.
like 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah, maybe now it's even more because inflations and stuff.
yeah.
Like 35 or something.
Yeah, I can imagine because, to be honest, I'm not good at prices, like of comparing in Russia. I wasn't living so well, and I wasn't going so often to restaurants, and that's why
Mm.
I don't know these restaurants which you name.
Well, in Russia, I also don't go to restaurants. Like maybe
Yeah.
I was like just 10 times in my life in restaurants in Russia.
Oh, it's a
That's all.
lot for me at times.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot, already a lot. And yes, I
Yeah.
see donation from Sam Calvert, and he said, "Thank you, Dan, for your donation, Sam. It is important your support for me, and I believe for you can support also Sergey on his channel." And hello, Alex and Sergey from Ohio, USA. I enjoyed watching Sergey with Constantine. Access Sergey disappeared to sweet talk with other women. Very funny.
Ah, yes, I remember. Yes, that Texas barbecue was like really soft, like the softest meat I ever ate. Like, like very good. So one of the reasons to visit Texas.
Yes,
Did you
and
try this Texas barbecue in America?
I was eating a little bit with my sponsors Heather bought for me. It was not so much. I mean, I want to go especially to like to eat. Yes, it was very delicious. We like and
Yeah, it's soft, you know,
it's
like.
and yes, it's what I was thinking about this. It was very soft. I said this to Heather, and I
Mm.
tried this, and I'm like, oh my god, and it was like I never ate such soft meat in my life.
Yeah.
And it
That's-
was very delicious, and
mm.
people. My English word, that is wonderful news you heard from some producers. Yes, I see this. And
Oh, Lisa Marshall, thank you very much for posting my channel. Wow, your moderators are very good. Like,
yeah, they're wonderful and they're trying to help to promote to also
mm,
not only me but also you. And I saw in your channel what you didn't change country, like you're still in Russia
ah,
and you're still making videos about Russia. Does it mean what you want to return to Russia, or maybe it's
but I just didn't even think about it. But
uh,
as I know, it's like it really doesn't matter, you know. It just shows like kind of like no, because I'm not staying in some country for a long time. I don't know if I moved to USA, like you, for
mhm,
example, maybe I would change it. But since I like now I was already in Mongolia, Vietnam, Korea, Turkey, so
mhm,
it's better just to live with Russia, you know, because like no, I'm Russian and stuff like that. But now, by the way, I'm trying to feel more about traveling, you know. Yeah, I do sometimes videos about Russia, but yeah, like no, I try kind of to change the topic for traveling. You know, like now Turkey,
mhm.
then like maybe another country, maybe America one day. But
Wow.
to America, it's like yeah, I had to come there earlier. Now it's like very hard, or it's like your way, but your way is way. It's like very difficult. So you.
My way it is stressful. It means what it can be stressful. Depends from you, of course. If you're a strong person, I believe if you're Russian gopnik, you're strong. And it means what emotionally for you it will be not problem. But also I want to say to you what for me it wasn't difficult emotionally because I didn't have such connections like some people have because I'm orphan because I was living in
Ah,
poverty. As a result, I have nothing to lose in Russia because
ah,
I know
wow.
part of Russian society. You know these words, those words like slang, bichi. I'm from a family
Ah,
where bichi, it is me. I'm bitch of Russian society. And it's like,
ah.
yeah, nobody.
Wow, I mean, it sounds very sad but funny in the same way how you say this. But yeah, I didn't know your life story. So yeah, if I was like no, like for example, orphan like you, I think I would maybe do the same thing. Yeah, because
You have
yeah.
nothing to lose, to be honest. You had nothing in your life, and of course, you're like, okay, what can I have? Especially, and then government pushing you, like you must go to die to make to. They started this war. You didn't live well, and suddenly government saying, moderation,
Just go
war,
die.
and you're like, what?
Oh my god.
Is happening. Of course you like will be shocked and you will disagree with everything because I was saying many times in Russia 21 millions of people living under a poverty line, like $100, and it's by official resources, $100 they have per 1 month. 21 millions of people and I'm one of them. Just that's all. That's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I even one like I don't know if you saw or people saw like I had this New Year address from Supreme Leader, like I did, no, from me, like
Yeah.
joke video. I don't know
Hmm.
if you saw it.
Yeah.
So I joked there, like, that we need, we don't care about sanctions, like we do this and that, like
Yeah.
parody video. But also I wanted to make a joke like that, you know, about pensioners in Russia. But
Yeah.
then I didn't do this joke because I thought maybe it's
Too
too
much.
bad joke. Yeah, too much. But it's like it was like it would be like that I want to thank our pensioners so they die or so they prefer to die earlier so we don't need to pay them pensions and save the budget. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was maybe too much, but it's kind of from this story, like, yeah.
In Russia, pretty often humor and jokes they all about they are talking also about problems. In humor, you can
Mm,
see this about xenophobia, about nationalism, about racism, and about quality of living and inequality of living.
mm,
And that's why it's very sensitive topics for some people, especially for those like me example. But I grown this and not only for me, like for a lot of people who can not understand your humor. And that's why, yes, sometimes you do censorship for yourself. Like, yeah, nobody, you
yeah,
stopping
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not only about jokes. For example, even
Yeah.
now, like some no, you already kind of in America and you plan to stay there and stuff, but still I kind of self-censor
Mhm.
myself. Like, and the
Yeah.
thing is that maybe like 5 years ago, like maybe it still wasn't that, no, like maybe it still was bad with censorship, but it was much better in Russia, like even 5 years ago, I think. So it was slowly changing, like, this censorship. For
Yeah.
example, like we had these jokes like 10, 12 years ago, you could joke even about like president or something. Like,
Yeah.
no, not very tough jokes, but like some light jokes you could make. This
Yeah.
KVN, this KVN
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
these jokes. Yeah, but now it's like, yeah, slowly changed like to very big censorship.
After when this war started, which
Hmm.
Putin started, of course, I see it's happened really, it's happening pretty fast, these censorships. And
Yeah.
it's they're tightening your human rights, your ability to talk freedom. And that's why freedom of speech in Russia, when they're closing media, mass media, which has different opinion, and that's why you will not feel safe when they send people to prison just for your opinion. And yes, I agree with you completely. Right now, everything changed. And I remember this joke when one of them, Dorokhov, do you remember this stand-upper? No, Dorokhov, he's he made this. There was a show, humor
Uh,
show, I would say, and he was dressed like a woman, and he
uh,
was this guy, and he kissed guy, but he was in image of a woman, and they said what they closed this show
mm,
because of this kiss. It's not
uh.
allowed to come
It's
on,
like propaganda
like,
of.
yeah, it's like a propaganda of all LGBTQ community. And as a result,
Mm,
they closed the show, and he was made like under threat to go to the jail. Of course, Dorokhov, he's famous. He but anyway, it was everywhere on news. What is allowed and what is not allowed to people to do because of new laws. What is allowed? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, unfortunately, yeah.
it can happen, and I see their donations. So thank you, Lorraine, for your $5. I appreciate it a lot. And there was also donation from Nick. Thank you a lot for this donation. You say it was their empty wish list on Amazon, and thank you a lot for helping me on the wish list on Amazon. I appreciate this a lot because can you imagine? Yesterday I received drone. I want to show to you. This drone was bought to me on wish list. I will do this video.
Wow.
It's so cool. $1,700. Oh my goodness.
$700.
17.
17.
1,000.
You already speak like American.
Yeah,
This
I'm
like
trying.
17,
Trying. Yes. Different
1700.
system. Yes. I'm trying like $1,700. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
lot. Just for one drone.
Wow.
Yes.
So it's like you just open this so-called wish list and
Yeah.
someone can buy it for you.
Someone can buy this from Amazon wish list, and it's so very, very cool. And if you're in Turkey, for me it's interesting. Can you do this for yourself to open this wish list?
I really don't know. I think so. Like why not? But it's just the thing is with the mail. Like I maybe need to live here for a long time to reach because another YouTuber who lives in Turkey sanctioned the one. Like he received some mailbox from USA, and as I
Mhm.
remember, he was waiting like for 3 weeks to get it or 1 month or something like that. So
Oh, I see. Sorry for interrupting. I see he's here, Artyom, Idel. Artyom, we were doing live stream together. Hello, Artyom. I'm happy to see you. And he asked me 17 so much for drone. What's the name of this drone? It's named Hotel. I don't know. It's
Evil
quite
Light series,
yeah.
Hotel.
Evil lights. I never. Yes. Okay. And Artyom, I hope it's one day maybe you will do live stream with Artyom. He's a wonderful guy. And Dima from Russia. Do you know Dima from Russia?
Yeah, I know Dimo from Russia. Maybe like I talked with him about making live stream. So
Mm.
maybe we will do, yeah. But with
Yeah.
Idel or Idel
Idel,
Artyom,
Idel.
we'll
Yeah.
see. I think I saw his channel already, but yeah, he films like about village life or something in Russia. Yeah, maybe something like that
Mm.
before.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
who bought this drone? This drone was bought by James. Thank you a lot for this.
Mm.
Yeah. And yeah, I will be happy, of course, to know at this moment you're living in Turkey. How many Russians are there? I never was in Turkey in my life, but I heard what's there because of mobilization. A lot of Russians. Do you feel this or not? Like,
Like it depends of the city,
mhm,
like and province. For example, here in Izmir, it's like I've seen just two Russians on the street and that's all. But in Alanya, it's like little Russia of Turkey.
mm,
It's like they say that maybe 35,000 people live in that city,
mhm.
even though the city itself like 150,000 people. So it's like 20% are Russian or something like that of population. In Antalya, it's a lot of them. So it's really a lot, but they are kind of in in one province. Like almost all of the Russians like are in one province in the south of Turkey. So yeah, I see them a lot, but not like in crazy numbers. If we talk
Ah,
about all of the Turkey, yeah, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe 500,000 live here now.
oh, it is
Yeah.
a lot anyway, because of course, for Russians, I've heard what it's easier to go to Turkey, and that's why people using this country like Georgia and Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know about numbers, by the way.
Hmm.
500,000 is just from my head, but yeah, because it's easy to fly here. Turkey like didn't apply sanctions on Russia, and I mean, like thanks to them, at least I can go to Turkey. And yeah, there are straight flights from Moscow, from St. Petersburg, still to Turkey. And if we don't talk about former Soviet republics like Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, we can only fly to Turkey from this European part of Russia. Yeah, but Turkey kind of impressed me, like much, quite much better than I expected. Like, yeah,
It was your first time you
yeah,
was in Turkey first time because of mobilization.
yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
I can imagine, of course.
no. First time I moved to Mongolia, so it's
Yeah.
now my first time in Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and it's very interesting for me. You was crossing Mongolia by car, yes?
Yes.
Wow, it's like unusual. We have so different experience because I was watching your video about mobilization 2 weeks ago. You made this video, and also that's how I found what you was in Chita and what you were
Mm.
going to Mongolia. And I've heard that Mongolia is very beautiful also, but how expensive is this place? This
No,
country?
Mongolia, like maybe like Turkey, like this, But
Ah,
some food may be even more expensive, groceries,
mhm.
because they import a lot of import a lot of stuff from other countries, from Russia. They don't produce it themselves, like some Coca-Cola or something like that. Some food, a lot of groceries there from Russia, for example. Yeah, but they have a lot of meat because they have like
Yeah.
70 million animals for like 4 million people, you know, like
It's
cows,
very interesting.
moo, like meh, these animals,
And
livestock animals.
people asking you, spreading cheer. Why did you leave Korea? Why?
No, because I had to come back to Russia to fix like my banks and stuff, because I lost
Mm,
my bank cards in Mongolia, by the way. So to continue to, because of sanctions, I had to come
yeah.
back to make other bank accounts to receive money from YouTube. Because like it's Korea is cool, but it's cool when you have money, but not when you live on the street.
I agree with you completely, Korea. And how long you was there in South Korea?
No, maybe 3 weeks. I forgot exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
but it was my second time there. I was there before.
I want to say to you my experience. I was in South Korea. I was working there
Oh,
illegally. Because I want
wow.
to say very interesting, because I said I'm beach of Russian society, because when I was a child I
Ah,
remember when
man,
people
I understand it, but don't say it. Like, don't say it. Now, look, you are smart. You speak English.
it
You,
doesn't matter how I look right now, experience and your past will always be with you. And I want to say to you very interesting in moments what in far east of Russia people always not always pretty often, because of poverty, because of these problems which they have, they're moving from far east of Russia to work illegally in South Korea. There are thousands of people. Russian government is not talking about this, but I was moving for this because I wanted to escape military service. Can you imagine?
ah,
And a lot of people are doing this. They didn't want to, they don't have money to pay for corruption. And
ah.
they escaped like in military service, like even
So,
1 year.
what year it was? Like, how many years ago?
2018. 2018.
Ah,
Yeah, there was Olympic Games on this. So like, okay, I will go and I will work there.
Well, you could just, many people don't really think about it, but at least in St. Petersburg, like you just can not go to this military office, and that's all. Like I did, so I didn't pay corruption. I didn't do anything. So
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
can.
in the same time, if you need to work in some, especially government
Mhm.
works, like, so they ask you about your military certificate, like,
Yeah,
yeah, so many people, especially from the provinces, from the villages, they go to the army because they will need this paper to find job, like work. But I always worked like this. This book for working, like книжка, как это
yes,
называется?
трудовая книжка.
Yes, like
Yes.
labor book it's called.
Yes.
Like 90% of Russians have it, but I don't. But when I
Mm.
went to get it when I was like 27 years old, they didn't believe me that I don't have it. Like they asked me, didn't you work like all this time? And I said, well, I worked there and there, part time. In China, I worked like illegally also. But yeah, in Korea, I know about it. That's why when I flew there,
Hmm.
they checked me a lot because they always suggest uh, that you're gonna work illegally in Korea if you are Russian. So
Yeah.
they asked me tickets back from Korea, like and stuff. But I said I'm a YouTuber, so maybe they love YouTube there in Korea, so they let me
It's
pass.
like they love YouTubers. I definitely agree with it because it is popularizing their country, and why not? And usually they have own incomes. And I see here Alyosha. Do you know Alyosha? He has channel. He's also YouTuber, and I hope that one day I will have this live stream together with Alyosha too. Yes, hello Alyosha. Yes, happy to see you.
Yeah, Alyosha, I know him. We talked like we've kind of exchanged some comments in YouTube
Mhm,
because he was also in Alanya where I stayed, but like I left like the next or in 2 days, I don't remember exactly.
mhm.
So yeah, and yeah, so and now he's in St. Petersburg where I'm
Yes,
from
it's
as well.
very sad what he returned to Russia. I believe what I hope what he will have opportunity to return to move from Russia anyway. And some people wants to help him, and my subscribers also wants to help him, and that's why I hope what there will be possibility for him to move from
Mm.
Russia anyway. And yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Hello,
but
Dima from Russia. Yes,
mm,
sorry. Mhm.
yeah, but I wanted to say that I understand Alyosha
Mhm.
because like if not YouTube, I think I would come back to Russia already a long time ago because it's like I don't know, maybe it's not the best time to be in Russia, but to be homeless on the street, it's also not that good. And he has a family, you know
Yeah,
and yeah, so
it is difficult
many
situation.
many people came back, like, so some people leave Russia, some people come back, some new people leave. So yeah, so
Yeah, I can imagine it is a difficult situation. It's more complicated when you have, and more expensive when you have children, when you have a wife. It's more difficult. And I want to say, of course, hello, Dima from Russia. I'm happy to see you. You're a wonderful guy, and we were talking about you already before. Yes. Hmm.
yeah,
And
yeah. But wait, do you see what I see? Like it's like 130, 129 people watching, but just 103 likes.
yeah,
Is it? Wow, it's kind of weird.
It's because I made this live stream, scheduled live stream, and when we started, we already had
Yes,
much.
I know, but I think it should be much more likes now. So
Ah,
people are greedy even for the likes like now nowadays. You
yeah,
see.
you're right completely. I hope everybody heard you. It's good message. And there was questions. I want to find these questions. There are a lot of, to be honest. People were asking, how can I send money to Sergey? I saw in your channel you're using donation alerts. I want to say to you, I was using donation alerts, but because of sanctions, it wasn't impossible. At first, you must create this account only, and you can must have VK account, social media, and to connect this. If you need, example, support from donation
Yeah.
alerts. And as a result, yeah, I'm like, okay, you still using donation alerts?
No, I used it few times, but now I have like $10 frozen there again. It's like the
Yeah,
third time they froze it because like they want to check it for money laundering, you know,
yeah,
because because of the sanctions. One of the reasons is because of the sanctions, you know, people use these donation alerts to send money to Russia, like, you know.
yeah.
So, yeah, and they check it like if someone sent me money there, for example, I finished the live stream and someone sent me like $5 or something like that after live stream was finished and they froze it. So I'm not gonna use it anymore, I think, because it's
Hmm.
pain in the ass, you know, to be honest. I used Streamlabs before, but
Hmm.
Streamlabs also because of sanctions, I can't use PayPal now. So I use only Patreon now and YouTube super chats and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's better, of course, to add your Patreon to link about channel because people will be able to help you directly, and I hope they will help you more because people already asking about this, and
Uh,
it's wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, you know, I'm this kind of person. I love money, but I'm trying not to like ask for money too much, you know, like so sometimes I put this link for
Mm,
Patreon or no, for example, now don't really have much money left, so yeah, in the next videos maybe I'll say like, oh,
yeah.
send
It
me
is.
money to Patreon, but when I have enough money, I usually don't like ask for it, you know.
Mm,
So yeah.
it's very interesting because I think what I don't like to is to feel pressure for in financial like
Pressure.
yes, to have this, it's giving you uncomfortable situation when you don't
Yes.
know what will happen tomorrow. I mean, you must
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
for your rent, for you must pay for everything, especially when you're a refugee and you and I think if people have opportunity, they will help, and it's
No,
wonderful
yeah,
for them
yeah,
to give this
yeah.
opportunity.
I agree with you. No, well, it's like in the next videos we'll see.
Yeah,
I, I think.
and for me,
Yeah.
it's interesting, of course, to know your experience in Turkey. You was living in Turkey already like quite some time, and did you feel this? What kind of attitude towards Russians in Turkey right now because of this war and
Mm.
maybe
Well, I think like to be honest, they don't. No, they don't care. They know about it, but they have a good attitude to Russians or Ukrainians, to both. So yeah, I didn't experience any like negative, no negative like
Mhm.
things to me or something. So yeah, I think Turkey is a very good country in this case to be for like Russians and stuff. right now. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think what maybe one day when I will be able to go abroad, because right now I don't have because yeah, it will be.
Yeah, I know. It's like it can take few years. Yeah, like 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy. Doesn't mean what I want to go to Turkey. Like, no, for me it is priority to be, I want to be American citizen. I want to improve my English to be part of
Mm.
American culture. And of course, for me it is priority. I'm ready to live here whole life and to not go outside because after Russia, like,
Yeah,
I'm,
you can go to how it's called like this islands like
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah, Hawaii. Like
Yeah, and
yeah.
to yes, it is.
If you will miss cold Russian weather, you can go to Alaska.
Yeah, it's definitely will be like reminding me about this weather, about Russia. I'm like, oh my god, it is very interesting, and especially quality of living in the USA. You can feel this. I think you know from your own experience because I was living in far east of Russia, roads, dozens, like tens of years, decades. I mean, decades. The Russian government was corrupted, and these roads, sidewalks in far east of Siberia, it is disaster. They will not
Yeah,
repair the
roads are
car.
very bad. I was in the Far East this year, by the way. I was traveling,
Yeah,
like I
wow.
was Vladivostok, Khabarovsk, even
Ah,
Soviet Harbor, if you know,
government.
Sovietskaya Gavань.
Yeah,
Yeah, roads are very bad. By the way, in Turkey, what surprised me, roads are very good. Like maybe they have better climate. You know, in Russia they
yeah,
love to blame climate. Oh, we have a bad climate, that's why roads are bad. Even though in Finland the same climate, but roads are good, for example.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I understand it. No, in America they have other problems, but I agree with you. In general, they have like no, maybe higher level, of course, of no living and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. For me, it was, of course, like when I was walking, like roads. Can you imagine? I'm walking in sidewalks, and I'm walking. They have good sidewalks, and you're like, what? Like, and you don't have holes? Is it possible?
Uh,
Because, for example, they have asphalt,
yeah.
and you like, and because in Russian villages in far east of Russia, I don't know about St. Petersburg villagers in those area. They like it is like I don't know. It's taiga. It's forest everywhere.
Yes, there is no like roads. It's like
Yeah.
l- just land. You know, you need like four wheels car like to go there.
Yes.
And yeah, I know I have roots from the northern Russian village.
Hmm.
You know, so yeah, it's the same. Like I mean, not a lot like not infrastructure at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely yes, because of course Russia it is corrupted, and it's not surprising for me and for you definitely.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is like even in no, even in I mean, I'm not a fan of Soviet Union, but even in Soviet Union, it was better in case of infrastructure, you know, roads, like maybe like no. So they say now we have this food, but
Yeah,
infrastructure, I think, even worse. Like I
I,
mean,
I just wanted to say what, of course, it's just talking about what right now Russian system it's not working. That's what it's talking about. What
mm,
how Russia, modern Russia, was created. It's how I see. It's just my personal opinion.
mm,
These oligarchs they took everything for themselves, and they for decades were not investing into system. Not what
mm,
they were killing opposition, they were taking freedom of speech, and step by step they were killing system itself, and that's why system is not working. That's like
Yeah, but
it's
you see, I think like it's partly why people kind of, how to say, swallow it, you know,
yeah.
because I think part of the reason is because people compare with like 90s, you know, this generation, older generation. Oh, you don't know how we lived in 90s, you know, when like, no, I was a kid in 90s, but like so they think, oh, now it's much better than in 90s at least, you know, they say.
Mhm.
But they don't know like how much money are stolen as well, you know, so it could be 2 times better. But
Mm. It could
yeah,
be 10 times better, 15 times better.
yeah, but yeah, no, 2 times at least, let's say. But
Yeah.
also, you see, like I'm from, how to say, mm, no, some people from Moscow, maybe St. Petersburg also, like it's more developed than other Russia. For example, in America, I think it's like, no, there are differences between like states and stuff, but in general, it's like pretty much the same, you know, the
Yeah.
development. But in Russia, there is a big difference between like Moscow, St. Petersburg, like even Sochi, because in Sochi, were a lot of money were invested
Yeah.
because of Olympic Games, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there is very big difference. Uh,
Yeah, this inequality you can feel in budgets, or maybe because Moscow taking all money from region, and that's what
mm,
people were feeling. That's why in Khabarovsk was protests. I was on these protests, and Natasha from Russia was on these protests too, because people was.
but you didn't know each other,
We
yeah.
didn't know each other. It's true, completely we didn't know, but personally we didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe at those period of time we already had this live stream together. Not live stream. We were making video like 10 months ago. It was before this
Uh,
protest, or maybe
yeah.
after. I don't remember already exactly. Anyway, we didn't meet each other anyway, and yeah, it's completely true because people already exhausted from this. Yeah. Yep. Do you see any messages from people in our comments in our chat? Um,
Yeah, I see all of them.
I cannot because follow all of them because it's quite yes.
I
Uh,
see on computer. Yeah, someone Bill donated $10.
oh, thank you, Bill, for your donation. You said Moscow and St. Petersburg are Putin's giant Potemkin villages? Yeah.
Maybe Sochi is more because you know Moscow, St. Petersburg, maybe even no before were better, but Sochi like he invested a lot of money there for Olympic Games to show the world. Like you see, like we have this money and stuff. So Sochi is Potemkin village, I think, in
Yeah.
this case.
And I never was in Sochi, I was in Gelendzhik when I was
Ah,
traveling around.
Kilimchik. I haven't been there, but it's like some small town. But Sochi, believe me, I go there every year since
Hmm.
childhood, since my
Wow.
grandparents lived there. So I saw this change, you know, like before Olympic Games and after. So it was like, no, now it's one of the best cities in Russia, I think, Sochi. But
Yeah.
crazy money were invested into there, and also a lot crazy money were stolen on this, you know.
I completely agree with you. And for me, like people who is living in far east of Russia, they name that like Дальневосточники, far eastern people, far eastern men, and usually those people doesn't have opportunity to go to Moscow because expensive price cost of tickets, and
Yeah,
usually western parts of Russia thinking about who is living in Vladivostok. Like they usually like making jokes on video, like about people, about province from people, especially if you will watch comedy club. Sometimes you can hear these jokes about girls who is province, who is from Khabarovsk, Vladivostok, arriving to Moscow, and they like trying to find rich mm, guy, and as a result, Gopnik
Sugar
from
daddy.
Gopnik from province immediately become gay in Moscow because how he's
Ah,
they
these
do
jokes,
these
yeah.
jokes about people from province, and of course it's not always it's how system working mm, and you feel this unfairness sometimes
But
because
you
you
know, like,
yeah.
I'll just add about Moscow. Since I'm from St. Petersburg, we kind of dislike Moscow. Well, I kind of like it, but yeah,
Mhm.
we have this competition. Like, I know, like, many people in Russia don't like Moscow, but and these jokes about pro, provincial guys coming to Moscow. You know, I lived in Moscow for like couple of months.
Yeah.
I went to work to find a job. There was no one from Moscow. So Moscow, like, how to say, local Moscow people, I don't know, maybe it's only babushkas, grannies left. Like,
Yes.
so 20%, 30% of the city. So
Yeah.
Moscow, it's like, it's just, you can joke about this province that, but it's combined from all the people of Russia, like, you know.
Yeah. It is melting pot. Like about the USA, people say it's melting pot, but in the Russia,
Yeah, yeah,
melting pot it's Moscow because
yeah,
people from all regions going to find the opportunity. And I see their message from Sam. And you said, Alex, you should do a new update live stream with Natasha Adventures Year Russia again. She and Alex must catch up news. To be honest, we were already chatting and we have plans to make live stream together with Natasha. And when it will happen, it's just a matter of time. Just we must find this perfect day. Just we will
mm.
do it. We already have this on plan. And same with Ellie from Russia. I hope what Ellie. Yes, we will do this one day. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Wow, I see the question to me.
Hmm.
Lando Plenty asks, I'm from Boston. Did you like it here, Sergey? Yeah, I was in Boston like for maybe 10 days. I liked everything except that it felt a bit boring for me, you know, and it's like an ideal city, you know, but in the same time it's a bit boring in my feeling. Yeah. And Boston, by the way, considered a little bit how this word. Even in Russian I forgot.
Бля.
No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
no, yeah, anyway. Yeah. Boston and St. Petersburg a bit similar because Boston and St. Petersburg, how do you call this? Like, you know, people who uh, behave like they are better than others, you know, this word.
Um, they're not fancy. How to say? Um, I don't know how to name this.
So yeah, I you know this word, but I forgot
Yeah,
this. Like,
maybe I
so
know it too.
Bostonians considered to be like this in America, that they feel that they are better. You know, like in
Um,
Saint Petersburg we have the same, like a little bit.
to be honest, what I feel here in
Snobs, snobs, snobs. Yes, snobby
no,
city.
ah, maybe you can find these people in Moscow and in any big cities or around but at this moment I didn't meet yet anybody who will say to me in Houston example, it is the fourth largest city in the USA and all people was polite and in Russia it's impolite. I'm
In
from other
Russia, you come to shop like and like, what are you staying here, like, or like, you know, no, it's not that often actually, like now, because I think before it was worse, maybe in Soviet times, but sometimes it happens, yeah, like, you know, you come to some, for example, shop, you want to buy from these people, give them
Yeah.
money, and they yell at you, what do you want, why did you come here, like they don't need my money, yeah, sometimes it
Politics
happens.
of Russia didn't change, to be honest. It's changed a little bit, but not so much. This conservatism in people, because there you don't have investments, and tourism not so progressive, I mean, and not so developing. As a result,
Mm,
people, of course, still have this conservatism in their mind. Yes. And
maybe, yeah.
mhm. I see message. Poor Alex gets bombarded with smiles and compliments. Okay, some flirts too all the time. Thank you, Bill. It's impossible not to smile when you have wonderful people with whom you're talking, and
Mm.
when you have a lot of messages. Sometimes difficult to see all of them. And
Yeah,
yes,
I see Bill sent a donation also before.
before,
Check it out, yeah.
yes, I
By
will try to find, and thank you for this. Yes, thank you, Bill, for your donations. By Potemkin village as aspects, I mean like the MIP districts. Gas
and
from field growth take from Siberia. Yeah, I understand. Oh, we have here half Russian. Yes,
no,
do you know half Russian?
yeah, we just did the live stream with him two
Ah,
days ago, I think.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. You were saying to me already this before, and yes, it's wonderful. It's good when people. Yeah, I love collaborations. I usually love because it's giving you opportunity to understand what is happening with the people, with like to understand bigger picture, especially when we see how many people fleeing from Russia, and it's when you know different angles you can better understand, and at
Yeah.
this moment, do you have plans to visit Georgia, example Batumi? There you can find Artyom and Dima from Russia. Do you think is it
Mm.
possible?
I was thinking about even like a month ago, I think, when I
Ah.
came to Turkey. Yeah, but uh, like maybe short visit, maybe I'll do. Yeah, but I'm not gonna live there. I think because
Ah.
I've been there before. I mean, I'm not gonna stay for a long time
Mhm.
there. Yeah, because like I like Georgia and stuff, but yeah, I have some maybe disagreements with Georgian politics as well a little bit. So it's not only Russia and stuff. Like there are, how to say, many countries which I don't agree with their politics. Just like now it's Russia doing something which I don't
Yeah.
really support a lot. So yeah. Mm, So like no, I
Yes.
understand. I don't want to get very deep in this.
Yes, I can
Yeah,
afford to myself because I have freedom of speech. I'm outside of Russia, and that's why I can afford
yeah,
to
yes. No,
talk.
in this case, but also is just to be politically correct. It's not even about Russia now. It's like just
Yeah.
just
Um.
I like, for example, for me, I don't agree what Russia doing
Mhm.
this year, but also like some other countries also maybe can do. I can not agree with something.
I
Yeah,
completely agree with you, but you will not find perfect
yeah,
countries.
yeah,
Let's be
yeah,
honest. And
yeah,
but just for some people, what example for me, the USA it is perfect country because it's one country in the world which they're trying um, trying their best. At least what I feel this, what I see, they're investing in people. They're talking about problems and they're trying to decide these problems. If you're black, if you're Asian, if you're doesn't matter who you are, people talking about this, and you can find opportunities for these people. At least something is doing in towards this. And in Russia, if you're Buryat, if you will say loudly on square, I'm Buryat, and you will try, like, some people will think what he's ill, like something happened with his hand. He maybe hit somewhere, or somebody hit him, maybe, and that's why it is kind of Russia is not supportive of minorities. That's what I wanted to say to you. It doesn't matter by national minorities, by maybe LGBTQ, by religious minorities. It doesn't matter. Russia is trying like to make all Russians like in Soviet period of time. We don't have individuals. We have just
Yeah, but
yeah.
at the same time, they say like what they say is opposite. Like that we have 120 nationalities and stuff,
Yeah,
but at the same time, languages disappear and stuff like that.
yeah, that's what is happening. They say what Russia it is superpower, but in reality we see what it is corrupted governments. It's what I see at least, and that's why, yeah.
Well, yeah, I also gave some bribes in my life, so
Was
no,
you
to
was
driving police.
and you was how often was you meeting with corrupted people in Russia?
Nah, not so much times because I no like yeah it was only with driving police in my case they would how to say ask you for money without asking it like
Yes,
how
yeah,
hinting like
yeah.
and for a big money, but since I was young, like I would have 1,000 rubles and they would tell me, okay, put it in the passport and give me, like
But
so
about university, was you studying at
guys,
university?
by the way, it's just my fantasy, so it's just my fantasy, just in case. Like
You
it, it
you.
wasn't a real story.
Oh my goodness! Because in my real life, I was meeting real
No,
corrupt
well,
people.
I mean, just in case, I'm saying, like for
Ah,
prosecution or something. Yeah, like it's just.
yes. I just in case. Yes, I just want to say to you, in case.
Mm,
With me it was real. With me it was real. I was paying 200,000 Russian rubles because first time I didn't want to go to the military service. First time I
mm.
paid. Second time I
Went
escaped.
to Korea.
Went to Korea, yes. And when I was at university studying, I paid also money for marks, good marks. Example, mathematics. I was
Oh
saying
my god, man.
because it's not about me. You can do nothing there because people like this teacher, she's saying to you directly, there are 200 people and they're saying to you, she's saying to you, all these prices everywhere like insane right now. I cannot buy even vitamins because I don't have enough sun.
Wait, is it teacher told you that?
This teacher was saying we had a lecture and she was saying this out loud like 200 people was sitting. It was our first lecture and she was saying directly what she's corrupted.
Wow.
And I understood what
Wow, it's even like it's like really funny.
and
Uh,
it's welcome to far east of Russia. Maybe in western part of Russia it's a little different, but far east of Russia, direct
oh,
corruption.
I've heard a lot about corruption in universities, but I didn't meet it myself, even though I've heard about it. For example, in one of the best universities of Russia, like I know of St. Petersburg, like party elite kids studied there,
Yeah.
economic university. So like it was more than 10 years ago. So to buy session, how it's called, session, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
session with marks, so you could not visit university for 6 months, like, you know, even, but if you pay money, like 70,000 rubles it was that time, like $2,500, roughly. So you would get this marks and stuff. Wow, you see, now I remembering. Yeah, in my school, when I finished school, 11 classes, we had 2 guys who were dvoechniki, like very bad students. They had only bad marks, points, but when school finished, they got only good in this school paper, you know. So because their parents looks like they paid for the school, for the class,
for example, curtains, they were buying curtains.
Yeah, no, they paid, like, really, they did give a lot of money, you know, to make it all new. So yeah, and like I saw this, like, how do you get this good? You are like, no, not smart. And then the class teacher came to me like, oh, don't look here.
Because yes, it's obvious, and it's you can. I saw such people while I was in Russia, in Far East of Russia, studying. You can find them a lot, and they like, okay.
Yeah. But one time I tried to give a bribe myself, but I still have a shame for that. You know, in university, like, by the way, English, I couldn't do English because I was stupid and stuff. So I offered teacher, fuck, it's so shame, you know, 2,000 rubles, like, and she told me just translate some short text and stuff, but I was so lazy, I didn't want to study in university anymore, because I quit university, by the way, in the end. But and she looked at this money like this. She wanted to take it, but then she said, go buy me, like, some stuff, you know, paper and stuff. Like, I went to buy it, then I came back, but then another teachers came, and she was ashamed as well that I came with this, like, and she said, go from here, you know, stuff here. Like that. It's like I feel shame for that.
Embarrassing situation for both of you. That's why some teachers doing these private lessons at home. They're doing this like let's make.
It's like legalizing corruption.
Like they're legalizing this. And I see here in our chat Heather. Heather is my sponsor. Thank you very much for supporting. I'm wishing you all of the best, and yes. Thank you because Heather helped me with Steven. They gave me place to live in the USA, and that's why I'm doing this. It's important for me, and they're very kind and supportive people, my sponsors. I wanted to say to you.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, Christina, I know Christina. She doesn't like that I say the word capitalism. Like, no, you know, this joking about it. Yeah, but anyway. Dima from Russia there said that Alex didn't understand what I meant. Yeah, by the way, guys, this story also, it's just from my fantasy. You know?
Yes, I understood. At the end. Of course, I understood. Yes, and for me, it's interesting also to know what you right now, what you said was some countries not perfect, a lot of countries not perfect. But what country do you think is more perfect for you, and which you like more than others because of politics, maybe how it's working? I don't know. Yeah.
Except Russia, yeah.
Except Russia, it is a nightmare. You escaped Russia. I already see this mobilization. But others, which do you think?
No, no, you know, I really can't say for now, because really every country is different and stuff. But America, I think, will be the most interesting for me in case of like filming videos and stuff, because most of my viewers also come from USA,
Hmm.
not as much as like you, but still like 35%.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it would be just like interesting for me, and I think for the people to see like this crazy Russian in America series videos and stuff. Yeah, but in case of living, I don't know. I get bored everywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So I hope one day I'll come back to Russia actually, but yeah, politics not the best, but yeah, I don't know for now.
yeah, I can imagine because yes, this you need experience of living there to understand it better also, and yeah, it is sometimes can be yeah, and there I see in our live stream Hope Springs, and she has question for us. I want to say at first, Hope Springs, thank you a lot for supporting, and we are trying to write book about. Not only my life, but also about what is happening right now. And thank you, Hope Prince Jennifer, for your support. I appreciate this, and I hope our book will be wonderful. And
Wow,
yes,
you wanna write a book about your like travel from Russia, this
there
escape?
will be yes, like a lot of things, and this will be not only about me. It will be about yes, everything. At this moment, I cannot say what will be there because it is yeah, we are like
Wow, no,
in
interesting.
process. But yes,
Interesting.
thank you, Hope Springs. And she asked, I think it's a more question for you because are there Jewish people in Turkey or Russia or not?
No, in Russia, yeah, we have Jewish people,
And in
but
Turkey, yeah,
in Turkey, like I'm pretty sure there are some, but maybe not in a big number. It's very small number, I think, because it's all about politics as well. Like
yeah,
you know, yeah. So I don't know, but I think it's not a lot of Jewish people in Turkey, but because Israel is very close to Turkey, so why would they live in Turkey? When they could live in Israel,
yeah,
because of this politics, relationships not the best between Israel and other Muslim countries, let's say. But in Russia, we have Jewish people, yeah. Synagogues we have.
yeah.
Even
This
we even have this Jewish autonomic republic, like in the far east of Russia.
yes,
Yeah. Even
but
though it's just 2% of Jews live there
even
now.
one because
Yeah, one.
yeah,
But the
and
governor is Jewish, has a Jewish last name. So I remember when I was passing it by train.
And
Yeah.
yes, Hope Springs said, I worry about Jewish communities being a minority and an obvious scapegoat. To be honest, I was feeling what, especially right now, and I'm feeling this. All people, it doesn't matter what kind of nationalities, they're trying to move from Russia because history repeating itself. People afraid repressions, people afraid to be yourself if they're from LGBT community. If they're nation minorities, they're afraid because in Soviet Union there was repressions. They created like this region for Jewish people and moved them by force to this region. It wasn't like their wish to move to far east of Russia because it was policy of governments, and that's why people afraid what it will be worse, and that's why they're moving from Russia. I'm sure about this. Yeah,
Yeah, for example, Turkey, they give like kind of
yeah,
asylum to Crimean Tatars, like for example, because
yeah,
Crimean Tatars, like like native people of Crimea and stuff, and Turkey kind of controlled a little bit that area. So yeah, and those Crimean Tatars, they were moved from Crimea, like in Soviet times, you know, like forced, how to say, removed,
Yeah.
forcibly moved. So
Yeah,
yeah,
completely agree.
it's not only like about Jews and stuff. Yeah.
I see inside Russia Constantine here. How you do, everyone? Hello, Constantine. Happy to see you. It's wonderful what you have opportunity to see. To
Sergey,
watch
you in
us. Yeah.
Houston? He asks me if I'm in Houston. No, I'm in Izmir, Turkey. Yeah.
And yes, who knows how life will turn? I mean, surprises can be different, and who knows, maybe you will move to another country. I'm not talking only about the USA, of course, but I think it is a wonderful country for living. I mean, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I was in America. It's quite interesting place.
yeah.
Like,
And you was doing this comparison video. I mean, 1 year ago you was doing video reaction, and you was doing this about stereotype. There was channel. He was talking about Americans, and you were saying
uh,
how Americans, after your experience of being in the USA, and you explaining yourself. Do you agree with this?
it's like what
Don't
not to do in America or something like that.
like this, like
Things.
yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
don'ts of America, like this.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
No, it's like I don't already remember that much what I made there in the video. But as I said, it depends of the person, and it depends like
Yeah.
there is no perfect country and stuff. So yeah, I can make the same video about Russia. You know, like I
Yeah.
made the same video, similar video like things I hate in Russia. For example, I did a video two years ago. So yeah, I don't really remember what I talked
Hmm.
about in that video
Yeah.
about America, but yeah, but it's like some things I hate in America. This system, you know, this
Yes, like
doings.
Miles, you was explaining
Yes,
your
yes.
opinion. What for me at this moment, I'm
But it's
trying to.
okay. It's
Yeah,
like
it's, it's okay.
it makes America more
Mm,
interesting also. You know,
yes,
like
yes,
yeah. Just it's just for the video, you know. I made this.
yeah. But in real life, of course, it is important to say what if you're respectful, and just if people not understanding jokes, it's like
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I have
yeah.
this character, so like
Hmm.
that's especially before,
Hmm.
like as crazy Russian, you know, that
Hmm.
like oh America, like
Yes, it's like
American police, something like that.
there
Yeah.
was question from John, not question. Hello, Alex and Sergey. Enjoying your stream together. Sergey, how cold is there in Turkey?
No, it depends, but now not that much, not that cold. Like it also, you know, Turkey is such a country like that for sometimes you don't have heating, you know, like now I have a heating here, you see this
Yeah,
heating, but if
yeah.
you don't have heating but only air condition,
Hmm.
it's like it can be cold. For example, in Russia we have like minus 20 Celsius temperature sometimes in winter, you know, very
Yeah,
cold, but inside the house it will be warm. But in Turkey, even though it's much warmer outside, inside the apartment or house it can be colder. So yeah, it's pretty warm, but inside the apartment it's warmer in Russia.
and
Yeah.
Konstantin asking you, are you in Turkey now? From inside
Yes,
Russia.
yes, Turkey.
Yes.
Constantine,
Mhm.
watch my channel more, like my videos and stuff.
Yeah, I saw also the question for me. People were asking, "Do you have Alex discrimination? I met discrimination in Houston or not?" And I want to say to you, I didn't, because in Russian I'm understanding why people asking this. like, have you experienced any discrimination in Houston or seen anyone openly discriminating others? And I want to say no. Russian propaganda saying what if you will go abroad, you will have this discrimination. I didn't feel any. People were asking me, like, where you from? Because for them it's interesting my accent. I doesn't have good English, and my accent, people feeling this. And already five or a few times I was asked, where you from? Like, I like your accent, how you're talking, and that's why, like, okay, it was very interesting. And people giving you compliments for, oh, I love your shoes. I love your T-shirt or maybe a jacket, and I was receiving like, oh my goodness.
Well, if you would come into my neighborhood in Russia and with good shoes, I would say, "Wow, I like your shoes," and I would take them. Go,
Yeah,
go.
it will be like this, and I completely agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, no, Americans, they are quite helpful. Yeah, I remember they tried to help me, like, oh, direction, like, and stuff, like trying even call for me, made a call for me in the airport. I remember, so I needed something. Yeah, yeah, no, friendly people. Yeah, not
Yes.
not that bad as we hear on TV, like Russia in Russia.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Bill, for your donation. Thank you a lot. And you said we will always need police reform, but its nature police work attracts people with power issues. Racism, one moment attitudes, other, yes. Of course, it is important to work to have this working system. I completely agree with you. And here in the USA, you can have this. Yeah.
Have you seen Constantine offer to? Yeah, I saw. He said, "Come to Uzbekistan. We something make YouTubers in exile, establish Russian YouTubers in exile." Yeah. By the way, I was in Uzbekistan for 3 hours or 5 hours in the airport. So, but I didn't have any internet to call Constantine or something. I was transferring from Korea to Uzbekistan and then to St. Petersburg because there are no straight flights from Korea anymore. Like
Yeah.
from Russia, not so many flights anymore. Only to Turkey, to Cuba, by the way, there is a straight flight. Very close to America, by the way, Cuba. Yeah, and some former Soviet republics or Thailand. Yeah, not a
Yeah.
lot.
And I want to say this moment of what Konstantin helped me to escape Russia because I didn't have a bank account, a foreign bank account, and I didn't have money. And my sponsors, of course, connected with him, and he helped me to move to Tashkent and to escape this mobilization. And I'm grateful, Konstantin, for your support and for your help which you gave to me. That's I will never forget this. Never. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Konstantin, he lived in Texas, as I remember, or something. I know he lived in
Maine. Maine.
Maine, yeah, but he's quite a fan of Texas as well, especially
Ah.
Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
He's
I think everybody loves Texas barbecue,
yeah,
and
me
I.
too. He
Yeah.
he made me i- in love with Texas barbecue, even though I ate it just one time. But yeah,
Yes, I see here A plus Russian. Hello, boys. Hello, A plus Russian. Thank you, of course, for your message. And hello, boys. I was just helping Mod Natasha's and there is stream, so cannot stay very long. But I want to, yes, thank you, of course, for your support in A plus Russian. Thank you a lot. Yes.
A plus Russian teacher. Subscribe to her if you want to learn Russian. She doesn't
Yeah.
get she doesn't get bribes.
Definitely, definitely, because she's giving knowledge about
Yeah.
Russian and Russian culture. Because sometimes it's better to understand culture. It's easier to study, yeah, and more enjoyable, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I want to look at our comments, and now all of you watchers, these two fine young men are discussing big things like culture, discrimination, etc. Big things. When I was at their age, all I thought and cared for were boys and girls. Ah, yes, life doesn't giving you choice, because when government forcing you to move from Russia, you don't have choice and you must talk. You feel sometimes responsibility. You must talk about mm, what is happening inside of Russia, about mobilization, about war. Instead of talking about relationships, you must talk about culture, what will happen in future with Russia, and about war, of
Mm,
course, about war.
yeah,
Yeah.
that. But the only plus in this that it's kind of experience, like bad experience, but like it's experience in a way. Yeah.
Yes, and here I have opportunity to start new life in the USA, because I saw a message from Hope Spring. But yeah, and I completely agree with you. After living in Russia, you will
Those
feel.
these difficulties for you now, it's nothing. Like if you have
Yeah,
some.
it's not nothing, but any
Yeah.
difficulties, they like difficulties, they will be a new challenge for you, but you will be already more experienced. If Russia didn't broke you, it means what the USA will give you more strength and yes, more experience. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And of course, I want to read here to find here questions from our live stream. And of course, generations are changed. And it is important to say too for me. Uh, and for me, it's interesting. How do you think expensive living in Turkey? Like your expenses, how much you're spending per month? And those who are moving from Russia, how they
Mm.
must, how must
Those who I
behave.
think I spent much more than those who moved to Turkey for long term
Yeah.
because usually people rent apartments here. Like
Wow.
for example, I don't know, maybe it would cost $500, $600 a month. Uh, but I live in hotels, because I don't
Mhm.
stop in one place. So
Yeah.
it takes me a lot of money, like maybe like I don't know, $800 a month. And I live in this small, rooms
Yeah.
and stuff. But for this money, you can rent like very big apartment. So yeah, no,
It,
maybe I spend now, I don't know, like 1,500 a month, I think. I don't really count money, but yeah, something like that.
you cannot count money. They're like disappearing when
No,
you
I don't. I'm bad in how to say with money.
mathematics.
I'm not rich or something. It's just I spend money. When they finish, I start thinking what to do. So
Ah,
like
and
I
you
get
started to
loan.
search people, how to say, like to do gopnik stuff, like, like
No, not Gopnik stuff. Like with
yeah,
Gopnik also evolution. So for
yeah,
example, you can take a loan in bank and then
yeah.
not to give it back. I
Ah,
don't do it. I don't do it, by the way. Now
yeah,
I'm not kidding. I don't do it, but yeah, I'm just saying how Gopnik
yes, I
evolution.
think they do. They made this evolution. It's not necessary uh, to be on the street. Yes.
Yeah, you take money from the bank loan, for example, and you just don't give it back. Or I've
Mhm.
heard another story, for example, you can go to some other country
Mhm.
close to you, somehow get a bank loan there, and just leave
Mhm.
this country forever. And yeah, so that's
Some
how
people
modern.
do this.
That's how modern gopniks operate. Yeah, but in my case, I don't know, I don't count money. Just, yeah, they finish. Now I'll take another loan in bank and stuff. But somehow I always survived, like, yeah, like some in China, like I played in this, maybe, in movies, these
Yeah, yeah.
jobs, like,
And
yeah,
how many countries you said about China? How many countries did you visit? Because it seems for me a
it's
lot.
like around 15.
Oh my goodness, it's a lot.
No,
It's
it's a lot, but not that maybe much. Dutch people, they travel like crazy, for example.
yeah.
Many Europeans travel like even more. Yeah.
It's maybe by my standards, so where like I'm looking, oh, even visiting one country, it is already achievement. Like you already saw something abroad,
Mm.
and people will look in village on you like, wow, you was in South Korea or maybe China, and they will, oh my goodness, you're a rich guy, or
Yeah. No, you see, for example, you went to Korea and you worked there. I went to
yeah,
China, I also worked there. So it's not like only because
reason.
rich or not. It also depends of the person. For example, if person loves to travel or something, it also means a lot, because some people just afraid to go abroad alone. For example, they are looking for
Yeah,
someone to go with them. They don't. Oh, how will I go there? And stuff. Yeah, but you can go abroad to work, for example. So yeah,
yeah, it is
even
pretty
in
often.
Thailand, even in Thailand, I had some part-time jobs
Mhm.
couple times.
I know what a lot of Russian people working in China pretty often illegally, like models or English
Yeah.
teachers. It is
Yes.
pretty often they're working illegally, and because or in China people like they want to know English. It is for them. It is very like talking about your status, who you are.
Yeah, but they will speak with the Russian accent because of Russian
Yeah,
teachers. Yeah. Yeah,
it is
by the
very
way, these Russian teachers, no, Alex knows the stuff. I already know.
yeah.
See, those Russian teachers, they
Mhm.
usually pretend to be Westerners, like Americans, or
Yeah.
for example, one of my friends, he was pretending to be from Ireland, so he could explain his Russian accent. Like,
Yes.
yeah, uh, yeah,
Also, sorry.
and
Also, I know
English.
what some people must have this story what where they're from, because
Yes.
they must explain and they must know map. Example, know name of their village, where they from, how long they were living there, and to have this whole story, not just like, but
Yeah,
roots,
but it's
who's your
funny. It's
parents.
funny. I know these Russian friends, and I come to their school, and I see, like, their picture on the wall, like teacher,
Yeah,
for example, John, but his
yeah,
real name is Ivan or Dmitry.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, he comes from Ireland, or like Texas. You say he studied in, like, I don't know, Salt Lake City University, even though he didn't even finish university in Russia or something. But now it's getting harder, I think, in China, because like they are getting smarter as well. Especially in big cities, some parents who speak English, can recognize, like, wow, you are not a native speaker.
yeah.
It usually now you have to go to some small provincial Chinese city and stuff
Work
where
only
they.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, by the way, I have one also funny story about some of my friends in China who taught English in kindergarten, and his English was like very bad, very very bad.
yeah,
But his colleagues, they spoke very good English, but they were from no from Africa, I think, as I remember,
mhm,
no black guys, but but they spoke perfect English, you know.
Mhm.
But the parents chose my friend as the best teacher of the month or of the year because he was like white, you know.
Because of color.
Even though his English was like no, very very bad, like, you know.
Pretty often
So
they can say what give you compliments because of your skin in China and because how you look. It's of course. I was when I was in South Korea. I remember this moment when we were sitting I was working in golf club, and we were sitting resting, and Korean grandfather, I would say,
mm,
and on European they have hair on their legs. European
yes,
people, they don't have Asian people pretty often hair, and he's like was touching this hair. Wow. And he's like, oh, it's like, is it a worm, like asking me, like when you and he was like touching this hair, and it was like for him unusual. He was like 93 years old. We will
oh
say
wow.
like he's father of fathers. Like people
Mm,
always was respecting towards him, and it was very interesting experience because connection. Can you imagine? I'm Russian. He's and he never saw European like
wow.
in life, and he's 93 years old. Wow, it was so interesting experience when you
Yeah,
Korean the grandfather, if he will accept you, like if you, it means a lot. Like
yeah,
he
because they
yeah,
have this culture in Korea,
yeah,
respect to elders. So like,
yes,
yeah,
and he was like that's why every time I was like greeting him, he liked me. And then he say, "Oh, you must like do
yes.
this." How to say? Yeah, to show this respect.
Kneel, I think it's
Kneel,
called.
kneel. Yes,
No,
kneel.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah, and it's very important because come on, and sometimes people like if a boss because of their how to say, because he's 93, boss must listen him, even his boss must respect him. If he will not respect him, he must listen his advices about job because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
93 years old.
I
Yeah.
know this culture, elders in Korea. Like, I think in many Asian countries, maybe Japan too, like this, they have this respect. Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
안녕하세요.
yes.
감사합니다.
Oh, you know a lot of things already. Like
I don't know only this. I knew something else, but I know just two. I forgot everything else.
I was
Now
trying
I
to
know some
find.
Turkish.
And how to say hello in Turkish?
Merhaba.
Oh my goodness, difficult.
No, actually Turkish is easier for us, I think, to pronounce and stuff, you know, like because when they say I understand like something. In Korean it would be much harder. Like now I know some words like here, it's like burda, for example. So it's
Burda.
like Russian a little bit in case of pronunciation, you know, sounds and stuff similar, more similar.
Yeah.
So
I hope what one yes I was meeting some people from Turkish as in detention center where I was
mm,
living. A lot of people fleeing Turkey because of economy situation, because of repression towards minorities, example Kurdish people in Turkey, and that's why people fleeing from Turkey too. A lot of them.
yeah, no, that's why why I'm saying that there is no perfect country, you know. Yeah, but since I'm in Turkey now, I'm not gonna discuss
Just in
discuss it.
case.
No.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to say thank you, all of you, for this live stream because I think what we are talking already more than How much we are talking? Did you see?
No, 1 hour and 20 minutes or 1 hour 20. No, 1 hour, almost 2 hours. 1 hour 50
Yes,
minutes.
soon will be like 2 hours, and I think it is
Yeah,
wonderful. And I think it will be good to find the last questions and to say thank you, all of you, because it is. Come on, we must have only limits. Yeah. And
yeah.
do you
But
see?
at least it's 180 likes. Not bad. Could be better though. Could
It
be
is
more.
wonderful, to be honest, because
Yeah.
when people giving likes, and hello from Terry, hello Alex and Sergey, we see your message, Terry Carter. Thank you for this. And also, buy A plus Russian. Thank you, A plus Russian, for
Okay.
being with us. And Sim, thanks Alex and Sergey and Moss. Thank you a lot for this, all of you, and thank you, of course, to Constantine for watching us, to Dima from Russia, to Artyom from Russia, from Artyom.
Everyone is from Russia.
Yes, Artyom, he has channel Idel, Idel. He's a little different.
Idel, Idel,
Yes,
yeah.
he's special. Yes,
Yeah, but
different.
it's many people from like Russia, like Dima from
Yes,
Russia.
like Ellie from
Shelly.
Russia. She was Natasha had name
Yeah,
Natasha
Russia.
from yeah, Russia, yeah, Russia. She changed this, and you're like, okay, yeah, Russia. Yes.
But
Anyway,
there are others, like some small channels, I remember. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Alex. Great to see you. Thanks to all of you, and thank you, of course, to you, Sergey. I hope maybe one day we will have live stream on your channel. One day, who knows?
Mm.
Yeah, if it will be possible. And thank you for your time, Sergey. It was wonderful for me to listen you, to talk with you. You're a great person, and yeah, thank you for your collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teşekkürler, how they say in Turkish. Thank you. Like
yeah.
teşekkürler. Yeah, I think you have this like good talent of how to say uh, making interviews and stuff. So yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
good interview. No,
Oh, thank
talking. I see you kind of prepared, maybe yes, a little bit.
you. Of course, it's important to know who you are talking with.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you can support Sergey. He will he has the links for Patreon. I believe you can support him. You can subscribe on his channel. It will be wonderful. You can leave like to channel to our live stream and subscribe to my channel. It will be also wonderful. And yes, I want to say thank you and see you next time.
yes. Do it, people.
Yes, do it. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye, bye. Так. Я нажимаю или ты
Yeah,
включаешь?
I will do this. Yeah.